Okay, fix the music. Okay, spawning in the bottom right position of the map, that is Bel'shir Vestige. We have the yellow Zerg player coming in for Mouse. It is VortiX, who just actually was taken out by Bomber 2-1 in the very first match of the day. And his opponent, who lost to Katz's proxy hatches 2 games in a row. Well, not... Yeah, pretty much 2 games. Is going to be Roxas's Titan. So, as far as this match goes, Titan is already going to go for a very quick probe scout, which is fine. He wants to make sure that VortiX isn't going to do anything like a very fast pool or anything like that. He may also try to block a 15 hatch if VortiX was going to go for that. But as far as strategy goes, we've seen that VortiX is not afraid to be aggressive. I think that's one of the hallmarks of his style is VortiX will, you know, one game he'll go for the super standard economic play, and he'll play about as good as, if not better than, the majority of European Zergs. But then the next game he'll throw a really big Roach Bling bust at you and just completely smack you down. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Scarlet style. She has some very nice, aggressive, and very creative builds. But can also play a macro game with the best of them. Now, this probe is here to block this natural. VortiX will pull 2 drones to try to basically... He's got 1 drone to prevent a pylon from being placed and 1 drone to actually build the hatchery as soon as he can. Now, this probe is still here. He does have a Nexus coming in. He has a Forge as well. So, Titan... I mean... He's not doing anything crazy. He could still try to cannon rush this base if he really wanted to, but I don't think he will. The Overlord sees pretty much everything. He knows what's up. We should see a fast third base from VortiX in this stage of the game. So, give you a little bit more, I guess. We'll go through some more of the other results from this group. If you guys are just tuning in, this is Group E of the Russian Starleague. We've been through quite a few groups already. Obviously, E is not the first letter in the alphabet. So, if I could say anything more obvious, let me know. I'll try to tell you other things like vitamin D being good for your skin or something. The probe does get taken out, and he doesn't see whether or not a third base starts, which is quite important. So, there is that drone. Now, as far as the other results, like we've said, this group had Bomber, Cats, Titan, and VortiX. We saw Titan lose to Cats 2-1, and we actually saw VortiX lose 2-1 to Bomber. Bomber would then go on to beat Cats 2-1, and Bomber is now the first player to advance out of this group into the RSL playoffs. The top 2 players advance, the bottom 2 players are eliminated from RSL. It's basically GSL-style groups. So, you know, the 2 losers play each other, the 2 winners play each other, and... Now that the winners have played, the losers must play. So, the winner of this game will go on to face Cats for the final spot out of this group. And I feel like between the 3 of these players, I want to personally favor VortiX, just because I feel in the normal macro game, he is probably the strongest of them. Titan relies on some very cheeky, aggressive strategies. We saw him employ versus Cats, a very nice +1 Stargate timing. Basically went Phoenix Zealot. But he had a very, very big Zealot attack early on to the third base of Cats. Now, there's that Stargate, and this looks like a somewhat similar setup, except he has this third gas much sooner than he did on the previous maps. And we actually have the Stargate started after Warpgate, so... This is a bit more of a standard style out of Titan. He's not going to have that super ridiculous fast +1 that we saw earlier. And we could still see him go for a very heavy gateway aggression, which is pretty much all I know him by. So, there's still a lot of options. The Zealot gets in here, fights off that Zergling outside. It's good to have the Zerglings on these bases just to see when your opponent moves out, being able to recognize whether or not you need to build drones, whether or not you... Well, I mean, I guess it's whether or not you can build drones or if you need to build Zerglings. But the third base for VortiX, he's just trying to get this saturated. We're going to see a Roach Warren come up. And, well, I'm looking for when that lair timing is. He has not actually gotten Zergling speed. So, from VortiX, with this lair, this is kind of an interesting play. No Zergling speed. He is going to 100% go for a Roach or Roach Hydralisk. And this could still be some sort of big Roach bust. Perhaps an attempt at a Roach max out, at a, you know, really, really fast one. And this map has a quite large area outside the natural, so this could be an effective strategy to employ. But now Zergling speed is starting after the lair begins. That's kind of interesting. The Zealot is going out here for Titan. He's trying to put on a bit of pressure. He has 2 Zealots on the way out. He has the probe as well, adding on 3 gateways and a robotics facility. The robotics facility at this point is paramount to surviving a counterattack. Once this layer completes, we could see VortiX immediately throw down a Hydralisk Den, and they of course have so much more DPS, and with their range are quite a threat and can kind of just kill gateway units like nothing else. Their DPS is insane. They're very strong versus any stalker based compositions especially. But the third base is here. There's that pylon. The gateways are complete. Titan, he's going to go for that +1 attack with these Phoenix being harassing at the same time. Now, I'm curious if VortiX actually watched any of the other games that we played here today, or at least if he watched the Cats Titan series, because if he did, then he will know pretty much what's coming. And Titan, here he goes. These Zealots, keep in mind, with +1 attack, they 2-shot Zerglings. You do have the Hydralisk Den about to complete. We have Muscular Augments and Glau Reconstitution. The Glau Reconstitution, of course, is the Roach Speed, which is going to be pretty damn useful. But now the drones are being pulled. Titan, he's at the very least going to kill some mining time, and the drones are actually going to try to take out this base. Is VortiX really going to try to fight drone versus Zealot to protect this hatchery? This is a very bold move. He has roaches in the production tab. He wants to just keep this base alive as long as possible, just bait the Zealots away. But in this process, he will lose a significant number of drones. Titan really digging into the worker line. He still also has the Phoenix. He can pick off any reinforcing units. And these Zealots are doing a ton of damage for Titan. He's focusing down the drones as well. This is a very nice attack by our Protoss player, really digging into VortiX with this sharp gateway timing. The Phoenix are just waiting to cut off any reinforcing units. There's no creep, so can't bring any other queens. Even picks up a larva. So BM with those Phoenix picking up the drones. And now, yeah, he's like, okay, you want to go to the third? Yeah, have fun, kid. And he's gonna kill those, no problem. Immortal Switch is coming. +2 attack, charge. This is a very powerful build from Titan, and this is going to be a follow-up with the base, pretty much a 2-base all-in. He's adding on more warp gates. He's going to get Templar Archives, and this is actually the exact same follow-up that we saw him go for in the game versus Cats on Electric Circuit, where he pretty much just went with a couple of Immortals, a couple of Archons, and a lot of charge lots, and that +2 attack, and just completely eviscerated Cats' army. So he did take a third base behind that. I'm curious if he'll go for the third on this map, just because it's not quite as easy to secure. There was no pocket base at the start of the game, so that's gonna make things a bit interesting. He does have the Mothership Core over the third base. There's a Spire coming in for VortiX. I mean, if there's already Phoenix on the field, I don't think you're going to be able to do anything with Mutalisks. This could be, he could be assuming that since VortiX is going for Hydralisks, Titan might go for Colossus. Get the Spire just in case, so you can build Corruptors, but that's not going to help. There's no powerful air units there. That third base will start for Titan. We could see him just set that up and push out once he has a couple of Archons. He actually is going to get a robotics base, so we have a bit of a difference now in this this game at least. And I feel like that's kind of interesting because he had such an advantage. He could have attempted to push in if he got a good engagement on these Hydralisks, and he got some good force fields to partition that army apart. He might have just been able to kill him, but VortiX is the one that will be getting aggressive now. He does have a lot of units on the field. This is where things get interesting. He actually doesn't have, yeah, never mind. He only has a single sentry. That's very unusual on the part of Titan. And, well, these Phoenix are meandering around. He's going to run into the Hydras. Very scary position to be in. And that's it. He actually only has these 4 force fields from this one sentry, but those could actually be enough. 4 force fields on this ramp. Whew, that could even be GG if he gets these Hydralisks. They are so goddamn expensive. And even with the Phoenix, if he gets into the fight, we saw him use the lift up, but now a Mutalisk switch is coming from VortiX. If he kills these Phoenix, this would be a fantastic play to switch into because there's not any sentries. There's such little anti-air. It's only the Archons, and you don't want Archons for base defense. But you'd rather have them in your army. 2 of the Phoenix will fall very quickly. And now 9 mutas. 3 Phoenix are actually going to have a really hard time with this. We do have that pylon on the left side being used to disrupt the building of this base. The charge lots going to town on these Hydras. Of course, Hydras just have such little hit points, but there that pylon will fall. Colossi coming out onto the field now. But this army, the only anti-air he has, 2 Archons and this lone sentry. There's cannons in the third base mineral line, not bad play. There's nothing in the main base though. The natural just has the cannon at the front. So the third base is the most well-defended one at this point. But that many mutas, yeah, once he builds this count up a little bit more, it's going to be very hard to deal with. And here we go. VortiX is going to send the mutalisks to the main base. And while these mutas are in the main, he can push the rest of his army at the third. He can push the natural. He can push pretty much anywhere. These probes are being forced to evacuate. He's going to get a lot of nice hits off on this worker line that does attempt to retreat. Fulton Overcharge is activated. He'll be able to shove him off for now, but oh, Titan, he's in such a good spot earlier. VortiX is doing everything he needs to buy his way back into this game, but here comes Titan coming in. +3 attack is done for the Protoss player, and he's going to try to go for this. VortiX realizing, okay, I actually need my mutas at home. This could be a very devastating attack, and if he can distract at least these forces, yeah, the mutas are coming in. All the Archons! Oh, the thing is, the Archons are the only anti-air in this force. Now the Phoenix do arrive, but will it be enough? The Archons are dead. He's going to rely on these 3 Phoenix to kill everything here. There's so many Roaches and Hydralisks. I don't think he's going to be able to hold on here. Titan is losing absolutely everything right now. Those Hydras, I don't even see where the Zealots went because they just evaporate versus Hydras. That's how good they are. These Immortals, not going to be what he needs. The Mutalisk switch was a fantastic idea on the part of VortiX, and he's going to pretty much just kill everything off. He can't even fight the mutas anymore because the Hydras are here zoning them away. These Zealots dead. Oh my goodness gracious. VortiX, GG. Titan taps out. And VortiX will take the first game in this best of 3 against Titan. So he's already looking like he's going to be able to put himself with some very nice solid macro a little bit closer towards that seed to advance into the playoffs of the RSL. Titan, he put up a solid game. I really liked the aggression that he did early on. He put on so much pressure. It was actually awesome to see how much damage he was able to do. He killed at least 15, almost 20 drones. So that was nice, but unfortunately, not enough. And we are going to have to see just what happens in the next game, guys. So I actually don't know what map it'll be on. I'll let you guys know as soon as we get there. I just don't want to talk too much because I have no voice anymore.